First of all, like a typical Israeli from Tel Aviv neighborhood, I grew up in a place where everyone had to go to what was called a compulsory kindergarten, Gan Chova, and it was, if I remember correctly, the most extreme Hebraist exposure that I ever had, because there it was, we're talking of the heydays of Israeli Hebrew culture, late 40s, early 50s, just after the War of Independence. So everything had to do, the Hanukkah thing, every holiday was connected with agriculture, no shtetl, no past, just present. We were all, Yom Ha'atzmaut, Day of Independence, was a very strong. I remember it vividly. I attended an elementary school which was, although my parents were regarded in those days in Israel, it was very important, they were regarded as bourgeois, they sent me to a labor Zionist school. In those days, the education system in Israel was not still unified. There were political streams. And I grew up in a socialist Zionist school, again, a very Hebraist one, up to the point, the school was named after a major labor Zionist leader, Bartal Katzenelson. His name was Berl, but nobody knew that his name was Berl, because this was Yiddish. It was transformed into a Hebrew name, Be'eri, Bet Aleph Reish Yod, which meant something like my well, my water well. Nobody knew that this school was called after a person whose first name was in Yiddish. Very symbolic, a minute fact. But the education in Israel in those days was much better than in today's Israel, unfortunately. I'm talking like a very old man, but I'm standing behind what I said. So we were exposed to the best of Hebrew literature, and among other things, one of the paradoxical things that exposed me much to Eastern European culture was a huge reading we had in the works of Yud Lamed Peretz, the Hebrew Yud Lamed Peretz, and Sholem Aleichem in the Hebrew rendition of Yud Dalet Berkovich, and of course Bialik and things like that. And although these were selective reasons because they were meant to present the negative features of this decline in culture, I read it just in the opposite. I read it subversively, probably in a way. So now when you ask me about how did I come to the study of Eastern European, it had much to do with my exposure to modern Hebrew literature, not Yiddish literature. The Yiddish literature I read later, except for Sholem Aleichem that I mentioned. Sholem Aleichem was the first. Okay, then, like every Israeli of my time, I went to the army, I joined the kibbutz, then I came to the kibbutz committee and told them I want to go to study, which was in those days like treason, high treason, giving up on agriculture and activist Zionism and going to bourgeois persuasion. That is something that one shouldn't do because it's non-productive. We do not need so many Jewish intellectuals like your grandfather in Eastern Europe, blah, 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 okay? It wouldn't help. So that we decided that I will go to study chemistry because my kibbutz had a factory and they wanted me to become kind of a food engineer. I don't remember exactly what, and it's better that I forget about that. Anyway, so after a couple of months, I said, forget about that. I want to study Jewish history. I want to study Yiddish. And then I heard for the first time that in Jerusalem, there is a department of Yiddish literature headed by two professors, one by the name of Dov Stock, known better as Dov Sdan, and the other one is, of course, my beloved late teacher, Professor Choni Shmeruk. Okay. And then I went to the Hebrew University, and after a couple of years, I joined the Department of Jewish History, specializing on a history of the Jews in Central and Eastern Europe. But I was able to combine my study of Yiddish and my study of Jewish history, and it ended up with my doctoral thesis on the image of Jews the image of non-Jews and Gentile society in bilingual bilingual Jewish literature, that is Hebrew and Yiddish, in Eastern Europe, 1856, 1914. A major work that was never published in a book form due to the fact that I'm still working on that.